Didn't Saturday feel a little bit more bittersweet just because of all the talking that was going on leading up to that game?
As we got to the game, really, just I think everything just got a little more clear, and I mean that in a way where when you talk about blocking out the outside noise, when we got in that stadium and we seen those fans cheering us on and the energy that was in the atmosphere, I mean, we knew we had to win. It was just destiny, and it wasn't more of, we're gonna prove you wrong or I told you so. It's more of we're gonna prove us right, and we knew what kind of team we were, and we knew what kind of team we were gonna, we were gonna be that night.
Were you surprised that nothing happened pregame like in previous years?
I wasn't surprised at all. Because leading up to that, the whole week was we're gonna focus on us. We're not gonna put any mental or physical extra energy into stuff that really just took our focus away from LSU, and so I wasn't surprised at all. Everybody was pretty locked in for the most part before the game.
How do you keep that energy up when you now go on the road to a team that's kind of struggled in the SEC, not a ranked opponent, just going in and having the same mindset?
When you go on the road, I mean, we don't travel everybody as much as we do for home games, and so it's a small plane. I think we only travel maybe we dress like 60, 75 guys, and so we really lean on everybody that's on that plane, everybody that's on those buses, from not just players but coaches, support staff, everybody that's there. We're one big family. We represent LSU to the fullest, and everybody plays a big part in those road wins, and especially those road games. We're there with our backs against the wall, no matter the opponent, whether they're good, whether they're great, whether they're struggling. It doesn't matter. Any given day in this conference, you can be beaten, and so we really lean on everybody, especially on those road games.
And the environment there is a little different.
It is.
A little bit louder. How crucial is the communication going to be on the line?
I haven't been to Starkville yet. Looking forward to it. I wasn't there 2 years ago. I was redshirting, but I've heard a lot about it, heard a lot about those bells, and so communication is going to be key on Saturday.
Jacoby said he would grade the secondary's performance as like a C. He said it's a little bit hard on the guys, but as the defensive front seven, what would you give your guys for Saturday?
For the first half, probably a C minus. Second half, probably a B. And a lot of that had to do with really just energy and focus. I felt like in the first half, we were kind of just a little uptight, really just trying to make plays out of the ordinary, trying to do things that we really weren't comfortable doing. And I think going into the second half, we just kind of just said, hey, calm down. Let's just play ball, relax, don't look at the scoreboard. And that was the result you got in the second half. And I think just overall, not just the front seven, but as a defense, the energy really picked up in the second half for us.
Do you build on the second half or just individual parts of that game for this Saturday?
Oh, definitely the whole game. You always want to look at the good, but you always want to learn from the bad. There's always things to fix. There's always things to improve on. And so if you just look at the good, you're never going to know what you need to work on. And if you just look at the bad, you're never going to know what you do good. And so going into a week like Mississippi State, they're a good team. Watch them on film. We just got to focus on what we need to do as an LSU football team.
How much potential does this defense have? What are we not seeing?
You're not seeing a team that hasn't scraped the surface yet. I don't think we've reached our peak yet. I think that's good. I think that we're still trying to play to our full potential. I feel like we haven't played a complete game yet. I know people bring up the Utah State game and some parts of the Florida or Vanderbilt game or Northwestern, but I feel like as a defense as a whole, I feel like we haven't played a complete game, and I feel like it's coming.
Braden, Jacoby said earlier he kind of feeds off people when they boo him. What are your feelings when people boo you, and do you feed off that energy as well?
It's huge, especially like last year playing in the Swamp, getting booed and whenever like LSU scores a touchdown, you don't have your fans to back you up, and so you kind of just take those boos and you kind of just take it as, opposites attract and turn it into like cheers. It sounds crazy, but you just kind of got to flip the switch in your head, and it really just fires you up because, people don't like when you're doing something right. So
I know it's the norm now with everyone running the spread, but you're pretty much going to see every week two quarterbacks, one that's a little bit more mobile than the other one. But how do you guys, it seems like it's almost a science with you guys, how you prepare for these types of offenses. You have it down so well. What's the key to weekends like this?
just scheme personnel, knowing what you're going to get. I think the coaches last week did a great job of having us prepare for Kyle Trask and I don't remember the number 5's name, but he was a running quarterback. And so we knew when he got in the game, we were going to get certain looks. When Kyle Trask was in the game, we were going to get more, heavy passes on first down, stuff like that. And that stuff really isn't stuff you just learn overnight. It's stuff that's a process throughout the week. We worked on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, leading up to the game. Especially going into a week like Mississippi State where, they've had different quarterbacks, knowing which quarterbacks are their strengths and which quarterbacks have their weaknesses. The coaches that I know for a fact are going to have a great game plan for us this week.
Patrick Queen said after the game that on the speed option on the goal line that you guys knew it was coming.
Yeah.
You knew exactly when they lined up that was coming. I mean, does that speak to what you're talking about?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, the coaches in practice draw it up. I mean, in the game, we seen it. I mean, the back was 2 yards behind his split from the quarterback. He lined up behind the tackle. And, I mean, the only plays they do out of that is if they're going to pass. But, I mean, it's 4th and 1 on the goal line. They're not going to do a pass formation, especially when the tight end's on the line. And so we knew the only play that was coming was either maybe a Q stretch or speed option, but it was going to the left. And so we knew it. Patrick Queen called it out. Caleb Vaughn feathered the option back in, and we all kind of just rallied to the ball.
Coach joked with us earlier that after Joe gave the speech on Saturday night, he told him that if you were the coach, we'd be practicing on Sunday. Just what was it like watching Joe give that speech?
You run through a brick wall for a guy like that. He's the captain of the ship. He's the quarterback. The team goes how Joe goes. You talk about a guy that came in and had to earn everybody's respect being a transfer, very similar to myself. Everybody on this team from top to bottom would run through a brick wall for Joe Burrow. I would myself. I'd do it twice. For him to come out and say that, it shows that there's great leadership on this team. It shows that this team's heading in the right direction. When you get a player like that, stand after like that after a big win, I mean, the natural thing is to just sit back and relax. But a guy like Joe, to say that, keeps the team's head forward. Not too high, not too low.
What would the team look like if Joe was coaching? Would you have y'all practicing on Sunday?
Yeah, me and Joe, if Joe was our coach, I'd probably have a lot of problems with Joe Burrow right now. But I know if Joe was coaching, he'd be a heck of a coach. We'd probably be 12-0.
Speaking of that dual quarterback situation, with Florida being down, were you guys surprised that they left Jones in the game going into the fourth quarter as long as they did?
Not really. Florida had some things working for them, and I don't know what their game plan was, but I mean, number 5, Jones, for him being a running quarterback, I mean, they got a few throws out of him too, so I mean, it worked for them in their scheme of personnel, and so honestly, it doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, just like LSU being up 7 in the fourth quarter passing the ball. I mean, people will think you try to run the ball, but I mean, if it works that we're going to pass the ball and put a dagger in them, let's do it.